Mixtape on 102.5 WBOC.
Brought to you by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
The Today Show, weekdays at 7 on WRDE.
Now on WRDE Coast TV.
It's a first alert weather day for the potential of severe weather later today. Plus, the hottest weather of the summer is headed our way later this week. I'll have the timing and intensity coming up.
Considering the future of recreational marijuana in Millville, I'll tell you what conversations could be ahead for the town.
The Justice Department is suing the state of Texas. Governor Abbott's refusing to budge, and his response to President Biden. Georgetown not following other beach town leads, and it's not moving forward with a total ban of marijuana sales. The town is planning for regulating the drug, improving the food supply chain, funding that is now heading to Delaware farms.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News Today. Your morning news starts right now.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, July 25th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Paige Marley. Matt Pensick has the day off. All right, if you stepped outside already, you may not believe me, but it is a first alert weather day. That's because it's a typical summer morning right now, but some typical summer thunderstorms potentially coming this afternoon. So we'll send it over to First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Paige. It is kind of a 50-50 day. First half, good. If you want to get those outdoor activities done, I would do them before about 2 o'clock, because after that, I think the storms start to roll in. But we're starting out mild, 60s to around 70 at Bethany Beach, Redden 65, as is Del Mar and Seaford at 68. We've got clear skies right now, and all across Delmarva, we're in good shape, and we'll be in good shape for a few more hours. But we're watching this system back to the west through Pennsylvania and West Virginia. That will interact with some energy and afternoon heating and give us some storms later. By 9, we're already warming into the 80s, close to 90 by noon, and here come the storms by 3 o'clock. Could be heavy rain and gusty winds with these as they move on through. Look at all the red indicating the very heavy rain. We could be looking at local flooding, especially in poor drainage areas, and it continues through this evening. Even by 11 p.m., still hanging on around Bethany Beach, the storms, Fenwick Island and Ocean City. But then after about 11, we do start to clear things out. So until about noon, 1 o'clock, we're in good shape. After that, we'll see the heavier storms. That's one part of the weather story. The other part is that intense heat, the hottest weather of the summer on the way. I'll talk about that coming up.
Bob, thank you. Happening today, the town of Millville will consider the future of recreational marijuana months after the state of Delaware legalized its sale and its use in the first state. We head now to Coast TV News reporter Heidi Kirk, who is in our newsroom. Heidi, we've seen a string of discussions surrounding how to handle the drug.
Paige, I have been following this story since day one. In fact, I was in the room when the Delaware General Assembly decided to move forward with the legalization of this recreational marijuana. And now I've watched each coastal community have to make some tough decisions about what to do about it and how to move forward. Now we move to the town of Millville, which is what we're talking about today. Millville is considering ordinances to zone for cultivation, distribution, and sales. Coast TV News spoke with Mayor Ronald Belinko yesterday. And while he says he's not opposed to recreational marijuana, he also says there's just no real financial benefit to the town, as the bill's provisions don't allow for it to make revenue. Belinko says the decisions of other nearby communities are playing into today's conversation, but of course we will have more from him later on. That meeting is tonight at 7 p.m. and as always, we have a link on our website, WRDE.com, if you'd like to tune in. Paige?
All right, Heidi, thank you. So, you know, the town of Georgetown, however, though, not showing as much enthusiasm. It's been different for different beach towns. Can you tell us? Oh, I think we're going to move on, actually. Well, we'll talk about the town of Georgetown. So, again, not much enthusiasm for a total ban on the sale of marijuana. Instead, the town discussing how business would be regulated. Town manager there saying the town would be doing a disservice if they tried to ban the sale completely. He and Mayor Bill West both said an ordinance for recreational marijuana would likely be similar to the town's medical marijuana ordinance, and we'll check back in with Heidi later on about how other towns are handling this.
I think we would be naive to think that if it's available in other places that it will not make its way to Georgetown. It certainly will. And one of the things that House Bill 2 allowed was for Sussex County to do it, which is the bulk of the unincorporated area that surrounds most of our municipalities.
And any proposed ordinance to restrict the sale of marijuana would require public hearings before both planning and zoning and town council. So this brings us now to our Coast TV poll. We want to know if you think towns should be allowed to ban the sale of marijuana. Let's take a look at some updated results. This is updated from our last hour. All right, so far, no is 54%. It's leading that poll. No, towns should not be allowed to ban the sale of marijuana. That actually went up a little bit over the last hour. Yes, 46%, still a close race right there. You can still vote. Head to WRDE.com, and we'll show you some updated results later on today. New this morning, President Biden is announcing his choice for his new director of legislative affairs. Shawanza Goff will be the first black woman to serve as the White House's chief emissary to Capitol Hill. Goff previously served as House liaison and deputy director of legislative affairs for the White House. Her first priorities would include Congress, currently on a tight deadline to reauthorize the FAA, pushing a slew of defense policies, and managing relations between Biden and Republicans without compromising the administration's agenda. Well, check this out. We're going to show you a Polaris law enforcement six-person side-by-side. You're going to see this coming up in Dewey Beach. After the donation by the Dewey Beach Lions Club, it's going to be the newest vehicle that will be used by police there. Police can use it all year round, mostly on the bay and the beaches, because it'll help officers respond to calls in areas not easily accessed by normal patrol vehicles, like, of course, on the sand. The Delaware Department of Agriculture has awarded more than $655,000 for innovative projects that improve the food supply chain. In fact, this funding will help fund 12 different projects through the First State Food System program. 50% of that funding is heading to Delaware farms. Another 34% will be given to community organizations. And we've seen money from this program benefit us along the coast before. Last year, the historic Lewis Farmers Market was one of the groups that were given money through that effort. If you are venturing into business, or maybe you already run one, Saturday, August 5th, the Delaware Alliance of Latino Entrepreneurs and La Plaza, Delaware, have all hands on deck for a summit on Latino entrepreneurship. It's meant to be a day for businessmen and women to expand education, inspiration, and networking in Sussex County. Attendees will have a chance to participate in 3 of 9 different business education workshops.
We have experts in lots of different topic areas, QuickBooks, legal. We're going to have a workshop on contracts, on social media. So we're going to have a lot of different interesting workshops, even on credit, understanding your credit.
And along with those classes that are being held, participants will also have a chance to rub some elbows with local and statewide leaders about Latino business and leadership. To learn how you can register for that summit, visit our website, WRDE.com. A new survey suggests American businesses are expected to fare better in the coming months. A survey from the National Association for Business Economics is showing businesses are enjoying some better economic conditions. The group's president saying it reflects an economy of rising sales and profits as material costs decline and stabilizing wages prove less challenging. This year has seen a steady slowdown in inflation, which has increased consumer confidence in the economy. We're talking about the latest border battle. It's ramped up into a legal fight. The Justice Department is suing the state of Texas over a floating barrier. The Republican governor installed it to deter migrants from crossing illegally. NBC's Bree Jackson shows us the latest on this border showdown.
The Justice Department suing Texas over this floating barrier at the U.S.-Mexico border, asking a federal judge to force the state to remove the buoys at its own expense after Republican Governor Greg Abbott refused to commit to doing so.
He continues to do this really cruel, unjust, inhumane ways of moving forward with a system that has been broken for decades.
Governor Abbott firing back at the Biden administration, writing, Texas will fully utilize its constitutional authority to deal with the crisis you have caused. Texas will see you in court, Mr. President. This is just one of the latest tactics aimed at preventing migrants from crossing illegally.
The buoys are a deterrent, and I think it's a positive deterrent. But it's once again, it's a quarter of a mile out of over 1,000 miles of border. So it's really the shiny object in this.
Republicans insist the White House is not doing enough to protect the border, even though crossings are down.
It's just about politics and somebody trying to appeal to a very narrow sliver of his right-wing base.
We have to solve these problems by working together, not only inside our own country, but working with the nations of South America, Central America, and above all with Mexico, to tie it to the Israelis.
Despite the dangers of making the trek, some are still taking their chances.
No sé, en realidad no sé, pero nosotros vamos a tratar de pasar porque en realidad, o sea, en Venezuela no conseguimos un futuro seguro y nosotros queremos algo para nuestra familia, algo bueno.
As the legal fight ramps up, the fate of the buoys hang in the balance. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
The Justice Department's lawsuit also alleges Governor Abbott failed to obtain a proper permit before installing the buoy barrier. That is something that is required by federal law. We still have a lot more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News Today. Still ahead, after a saga of setbacks, the art sculpture in Lewis is finally standing. There it is, the idea behind the art, according to the artist himself. And we showed you some devastating video of the confectionery fire yesterday, what the pastor there of the Connecting Church says caused the blaze. But first, Ocean City Police hosting its night out in just 1 week. All the activities you can expect at that event. We have that and more when Coast TV News Today continues.
Coastal Delmarva has so much going on.
Food, friends, fun, and more.
Why don't we just show you?
Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on WRDE Coast TV.
Sunkissed Summer Mixtape on 102.5 WBOC.
Brought to you by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Comes alive. I am tangled up inside. Is it something that you hide?
Delmarva's rock station for 35 years. 93.5 The Beach.
Never miss a game for your favorite local team. Take the DSN app with you wherever you go. Whether you're out to eat, camping with friends, or at home relaxing with your family, the DSN app notifies you when your team is on live so you can watch the game as it happens or watch videos on demand. Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV. Download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
Jay Leno.
These French guys are smooth, aren't they? I do declare, Mr. Henry.
And Kevin Eubanks.
But I'll tell you what, Kev's going to give you $100, right, Kev?
Bring their own twist.
Get out of here, really? No, you get out of here.
To a TV classic.
Let's play You Bet Your Life.
If I come home broke, my wife gonna kill me.
It's all fun and games.
Weekdays at 11:30 on WRDE Coast TV.
It is 6:13 on this Tuesday morning. Mainly clear skies. Tidal Health Cam from Seaford seeing a little bit of cloudiness out there. 67 for you. And we've got 60s all across the board right now. Some 70s showing up. Rehoboth Beach and Bethany Beach, you're at 70 degrees right now. Just a few little clouds floating through. But the system I'm watching for later today is this one across West Virginia and Pennsylvania. That could give us severe weather. And if you're headed to the fair, well, make sure you have a place to take cover in the event these storms when they move through. 10 a.m. 82, and then the storms roll in this afternoon around 3:88, and then down to 77. The storms continue this evening. Heavy rain, gusty winds, certainly a hazard. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Bob. I love that graphic. That game is always so fun at the fair. The Ocean City Police Department's National Night Out is taking place in exactly 1 week. It's Tuesday, August 1st. The department says that the event will have demonstrations from the bomb squad and K-9 units, along with information on law enforcement employment opportunities. They say the public will also get the opportunity to see an ambulance, a fire truck, and a police command truck up close. That event takes place at Northside Park. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. A third candidate has announced his bid for Delaware's lone seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Director of the Delaware State Housing Authority from Wilmington, Eugene Young, announced his campaign. Some key issues in his campaign include addressing the housing crisis, affordable health care, reproductive rights, and climate change. TikTok is adding a new feature to its app, Text Posts. With Text Posts, app users can now post written content. The feature is similar to other social media apps' written text feature. Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram Stories, and Tumblr all have a similar option. TikTok said in a press release that with Text Posts, it's expanding the boundaries of content creation. Adidas may be regretting cutting ties with Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West. Sales of leftover Yeezy inventory helped the athletic company recoup some of its losses. Adidas cut ties with Ye after he made some remarks that many considered to be anti-Semitic. The company estimated that it was going to cost about $775 million in unsold sneakers, but it released some of that inventory and it sold enough to reduce that loss to below $500 million. When the company released the inventory, its CEO said some of the proceeds will be donated to charitable organizations. Still ahead, a church in Millsboro picking up the pieces after its confectionery caught fire. What the pastor says will happen to services scheduled for this week.
And it's a quiet start to the day as we look at Paige's favorite camera, the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam. Sun's coming up, a beautiful start to the day, but I don't think it's going to end as well. It's a first alert day for the potential of severe weather later today. I'll track it on Futurecast and have the main impacts after the break on Coast TV News.
Need help giving a gift? Make your loved ones feel special. Celebrate their birthday. Congratulate a colleague's achievement by sending them a shout-out through Delmarva Life Occasions. All for free on delmarvalife.com. Upload a picture with a message about the special celebration. Delmarva Life Occasions is brought to you free by Island Creamery, found in Chincoteague, Salisbury, and Berlin.
Prepare for a seismic showdown as the East's most formidable travel softball teams storm the Eastern Shore, each battling to seize the esteemed title, the best of the best. Delmarva Sports Network puts you right in the heart of the action, delivering every electrifying swing, slide, and steal. Download the DSN app, stream USSSA games live, plus delve into our extensive archive of past and current games. Delmarva Sports Network, local teams, big dreams.
Middays with me, April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through your workday.
She can play your favorite song.
She can help you find your furry friend. The easiest way to get through your workday is with April.
She really makes you feel special.
Hey friends, hang out with me weekdays here on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 each day from 10 to 3.
First Alert Weather is our promise to be the first to tell you when big changes are coming in your weather forecast.
Whether it's day-to-day weather that changes your plans,
or severe weather that could change your life.
The First Alert Weather team will call for First Alert Weather Days.
Here on TV and all of your devices.
It's our commitment to give you the most accurate forecast.
The WRDE First Alert Weather team. That's our promise to you.
You're watching WRDE Coast TV, Delmarva's NBC station.
It is 6:18 on this Tuesday morning. I hope you're looking at your television or your phone, wherever you're watching. It's a live look on our Gateway Subaru Cam. Okay, Bob, I think this is top 5 sunrises we've seen. Yes. I want to just go take like a paddleboard or something out and just go lay in the ocean, just in the middle of the ocean. And if I'm going to do that,
gorgeous.
yeah, it's amazing. I should probably do that early though today, right? Not the best.
Do it early.
Later, right?
Yeah, I think we could split this day in half, Paige. The first half being nice and calm until about 2 o'clock, and then after 2, all bets off. I think the weather will go downhill from there. Make sure you scan the QR code. You can track the heat. You can track the storms on the Coast TV weather app. And let's start with those temperatures, and they will be trending up now. I'm thinking 88 today. That's the average high. Then we get to 91 Wednesday, and then it gets really hot. Thursday, 95. Friday, 97. And Saturday, 96. This is without the humidity. With the humidity, it will be feeling like at least 105 at times. So we're watching the heat, but we're watching the storms for today. 60s to around 70 right now in Milford, 70 for you there, 68 in Milton, 66 Ocean Pines, Bethany Beach right now at 70 degrees. Winds are calm, so not much going on there. And we have just a few clouds making for a decorative sunrise, but I'm watching this system back to the west through West Virginia and Pennsylvania. And as it slides to the east today, it's going to interact with the heat and humidity. It gives us that chance for severe weather. You can see this bullseye, this yellow, this slight risk over Delmarva, including our nation's capital. And that could give us some fireworks later on. Now, a low chance of tornadoes. Anytime we're talking severe weather, you can always get a tornado, but a very low chance. Small hail a possibility, but a bigger chance of strong winds, maybe in excess of 60 miles per hour. Make sure you tie down or bring in those items that could fly away like a trampoline. And flooding. Boy, if you have something that collects a lot of water, turn it over because we could get a lot of rain later on with some of these storms. Now, early on, we're in good shape. Here's 9 a.m. on Futurecast with lower 80s, upper 80s by noon. And then by 3:30, we start to see some showers and storms building in. Now, this is the latest model run. They've backed off on the real heavy storms and the location. The location isn't etched in stone, but the general trend is that we're looking at these storms moving through the course of the evening hours. And you can see how they shuttle through between about 4 and 10 p.m. and then they're gone. And then we're looking at Wednesday, much quieter, 60s and low 70s to start the day. And we start that heating process by the afternoon. Around 92 in Millsboro, 91 in Georgetown, Dewey Beach, 78, a little cooler for the beaches. I'm sure they'll be very, very crowded with time. And as far as rainfall amounts, this latest run has backed off on the rain totals. We had close to 3 inches earlier in some places. Now over an inch possible in Fenwick Island, Selbyville, back through Georgetown as well. So it certainly could be a soaker. And we have the humidity as well, becomes very humid as we go end of the week into this upcoming weekend. Feels like temperature today, mid-90s on Wednesday, and then it gets much worse on Thursday. Look at this, feeling like 100 to maybe 105 as we go into Thursday and then worse into Friday. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast after today's storms in 88 degrees. It's 91 on Wednesday, up to 95 Thursday. Friday is the hottest day of the summer so far with 97. Dangerous heat, 96 Saturday. We break the heat wave Sunday, 87 with storms, and then 84 Monday with some sunshine.
And a reminder, you can hear Coast TV news and weather updates throughout the day on our radio stations. Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 on 93.5 The Beach and Big 107.7. Another reminder, don't forget, tune in to our live 98th Chincoteague Pony Swim coverage. You can watch it live. It's tomorrow sometime between 8 and 11 a.m. on Coast TV. That exact time, we're still waiting. It'll be decided a little closer to the swim because it all depends on slack tide, when water conditions are the safest for those ponies to take to the water. A Millsboro church is raising money and cleaning up after a fire over the weekend. You saw this yesterday morning. A pastor at Carey's church says an electrical outlet caused that confectionery building to catch fire Sunday around 5 p.m. A 12-day camp at the church is still set to begin on Wednesday, but it has been moved to a different building. The pastor there, Pastor Lisa Smack, tells Coast TV News that they're just thankful the fire wasn't any worse.
The wind was going this way. If it had been going this way, it would have damaged a lot of the tents. There was a propane tank that the fire never came near it. There wasn't any ice cream in there yet, so thanks be to God, we will have ice cream in the boarding tent this year.
And the church is working on a GoFundMe page. You can find some ways to donate on our website, WRDE.com. After the break, you can finally view the sculpture in Lewis after multiple unveiling setbacks. What about its design is so unique to the city? Don't go anywhere.
Doing what we love is the heart of our company. Coastal Comfort delivers expert work, amazing customer service, and is dedicated to consistent improvement. As we continue to grow, we will always be dedicated to serving our customers with the highest quality in products and unmatched customer service. We strongly believe that well done is better than well said. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier Factory authorized dealer. We're the experts because we earned it. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count on.
Draper Media, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to provide broad outreach regarding job vacancies at the station. We seek the help of local organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should email humanresources@wboc.com.
Welcome to the Ride Home on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. First rule of the Ride Home, we definitely talk about the ride home. In fact, tell all your friends. Second rule of the Ride Home, we have fun. Top 10 Tuesday, Would You Rather Wednesday, and every day, you pick the songs on the High Five. And the third rule of the Ride Home, we don't take ourselves too seriously. You've got enough to stress about. So let me handle the ride home, weekdays from 3 to 7 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3.
I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
The Jennifer Hudson Show is here.
And you're going to bless people every single day.
We're giving back, lifting each other up. Something hits you in your heart. We're doing it all.
Weekdays at 2 on WRDE.
Well, first, the concrete cracked, and then there was a rain delay, but finally, after weeks and months, the public sculpture installed by artist Stuart Godfrey at Canal Front Park, it is ready for locals and visitors alike to enjoy. The Lewis Public Art Committee saying it's certain it will hold up this time, and it hopes to attract more visitors to the city. Godfrey says the sculpture was made in honor of Lewis's rich Dutch history, and that's part of the art's interactive nature. Godfrey says the piece represents a blooming flower. The sculpture is located next to the Overfalls Lightship in Canal Front Park. The Delaware State Housing Authority has announced that it's been awarded a $2.6 million community development block grant. The authority saying that those funds are meant to be used to administer the Recovery Housing Program Action Plan. This plan aims to provide stable, temporary housing for people recovering from substance abuse for up to 2 years. If you want to apply for that program, you can do that online until August 11th. And according to the authority, that grant comes from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. All right, well, Bob, your forecasts are great for what clothes we have to wear, how we're going to drive to work, but also how my hair is going to be that morning and how much SPF I'm going to wear. Because I love your muggy meter, and I love the UV index.
Frizz,
yes.
And we're talking SPF.
Exactly.
Well, we'll need that higher SPF for sure today, as we're looking at our UV index brought to us by Face of Grace. They practice in sun safety and very high numbers the next few days. Today and tomorrow, it's a 9. And then as those temperatures really start to ramp up, we're looking at 10s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it's dangerous out there if you don't take some steps and add protection. SPF of at least 30 when it's very high. Find the midday shade. Make sure you have maybe a hat with a large brim on it to keep the sun off your shoulders and neck. Limit time outdoors and avoid the sun late morning into the afternoon. And by this afternoon, we're talking storms and maybe some of those severe. I'll have an update on that coming up.
Thank you so much, Bob. Also coming up, an update on inflation's impact on businesses, details of a new report on the country's economy, and a chance for Latinos in Sussex County to learn, network, and inspire how a summit aims to help the community. Then Millville marijuana meeting, what could be decided later today regarding the drug recently legalized in the first state. Coast TV News Today will be right back.
The 98th Chincoteague Pony Swim and Auction is happening, and you can see the action from anywhere. Watch it live this Wednesday on WBOC and Coast TV, on air, the news apps, and Facebook pages. Brought to you by Buchanan Subaru.
Summertime. No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. When I met you in the summer.
Kiss Summer Mixtape on 102.5 WBOC.
Brought to you by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
This show is here. Everybody put your hands together. I gotta talk to you now.
I left work to come.
You left work? They gonna see you. He's with me today. We're lighting up daytime, baby.
And you're going to bless people every single day.
We're giving back, lifting each other up. Something hits you in your heart. We're doing it all. Mama Hood, coming to the rescue.
Weekdays at 2 on WRDE.
The men and women working hard to make sure the games are fair. The unsung heroes of all sports. Thank you to all of the officials on Delmarva. Thank you for your positive impact on young athletes. Your service does not go unnoticed. If you're interested in becoming a sports official on Delmarva, go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com/officials for more information.
Delmarva's rock station for 35 years.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News Today. Your morning news starts right now.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us as we continue on this Tuesday morning. I'm Paige Marley. First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey is going to join us this half hour with a look at your forecast because, Bob, it is a First Alert weather day.
It is, Paige, and it's a First Alert weather day, especially for mid-afternoon into the evening. That's kind of our bullseye for seeing stronger storms. But this morning up until about 2 o'clock, we're in good shape, and we're beginning the day with temperatures in the 60s and 70s, mostly clear skies, so a good-looking morning. But make sure you pack the rain gear because we are watching this system back to the west through West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and that will interact with the heating of the day and give us that chance for storms later on. But it's warming up quickly this morning. Lower 80s, 9 a.m. inland, and then upper 80s around Millsboro and Georgetown by noon, 70s and 80s along the beaches. Then after about 2 o'clock, that's when we could start to see some showers and storms popping up, and some of those will produce some very heavy rain and gusty winds as we go through the evening hours. Look at this at 9 o'clock, a big push of heavy storms come through, and that continues to about 9 or 10 o'clock. So this could be more of an evening thing. So we'll be watching that. But until about 2 o'clock, it's sunny, and then it's hot, and then the storms roll in. I'll talk about that, more on that, the impacts, and talk about that big heat wave coming our way for the end of the week. Paige?
Mike, thank you so much, Bob. Well, it's 7 p.m. tonight. The town of Millville is confronting the future of recreational marijuana use and sales months after the state of Delaware legalized the drug. Coast TV News reporter Heidi Kirk is in our newsroom. Heidi, local leaders say this is a complicated issue.
Paige, good morning. This has been a big story in Delaware for weeks now. As soon as the Delaware General Assembly legalized recreational marijuana, it became up to individual communities as to what to do with that information and how to proceed. And of course, I've been following that since pretty much day one. And today we move to the town of Millville, who will be discussing ordinances to zone for cultivation, distribution, and sales. Coast TV News spoke with Mayor Ronald Belinko yesterday. While he says he's not opposed to recreational marijuana, he also says there's just no real financial benefit to the town, as the bill's provisions don't allow for it to make revenue. Belinko says the decisions of other nearby communities are playing into today's conversation.
We're a bedroom community, and we're surrounded by beach towns that have prohibited the use or the selling in their municipalities. And we want to follow suit and not only supporting them, but not have Millville as a center for a licensed distribution center.
And Paige, that meeting is going to take place tonight at 7 p.m. And as always, we'll have a link to that meeting if you'd like to join in on our website, WRDE.com. Paige.
And Heidi, other coastal communities, we spoke about this earlier, they've also been confronted with recreational marijuana in recent weeks.
Absolutely, Paige, and I've been following each one of these coastal communities because they have a different approach. Dewey Beach was one of the first to restrict the sale entirely of recreational marijuana within town. And then that conversation moved to Rehoboth Beach. That's kind of still in flux. They are discussing it, but they're leaning towards similar restrictions. They're also discussing it in Bethany Beach, Georgetown. It's all across our coastal communities, and everyone seems to have a little bit of a different approach. But of course, tonight we'll have more information on the future of Millville. Back to you.
Heidi, thank you so much. So with all those different opinions, we want to keep you updated. So here's where some other towns stand with similar marijuana regulations. On Friday, the town of Bethany Beach had the first reading of a potential ordinance that would ban the sale of marijuana in the town limits. And then earlier this month, Rehoboth Beach decided to take some extra time to consider what to do. In June, Dewey Beach and Ocean City both banned the sale of marijuana in town limits. Latino entrepreneurship is the focus of a summit being held by the Delaware Alliance of Latino Entrepreneurs, also known as DALE and La Plaza Delaware. It's billed as a day of business education, inspiration, and networking for Latino businesses in Sussex County. Telemundo Delmarva and Coast TV News reporter Ana Sofia Roman shows us what this event means for a Latino business owner in our area.
Annette Aguillon went to the Summit on Latino Entrepreneurship in 2022 as a volunteer and got roped into being an interpreter for one of the workshops.
It was wonderful to see how many entrepreneurs aspiring or already practicing entrepreneurs assisted, and their energy and willingness to learn more and to grow with their business.
Now at her own business, she's putting the skills and knowledge she learned that day into practice.
For me, what I do is bookkeeping and administrative services for small businesses. So it was good to know what platforms they're using, what they're most interested in, and what they're having troubles with.
This year, Aguillon will be offering one of the 9 workshops at the summit that will take place Saturday, August 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Delaware Technical Community College in Georgetown.
I'm excited to learn from the participants and to see all these people, the community, come and, for one, help themselves, help each other, and also take advantage of programs like La Plaza and DALE and the Summit.
To learn how you can register for the summit, visit our website WRDE.com. In Georgetown, Ana Sofia Roman, Coast TV News.
A new survey is suggesting American businesses are expected to fare better in the coming months. A survey from the National Association for Business Economics shows businesses are enjoying a bit better economic conditions. The group's president saying it reflects an economy of rising sales and profits as material costs decline and stabilizing wages prove less challenging. This year has seen a steady slowdown in inflation, which has increased consumer confidence in the economy. New this morning, President Biden announcing his choice for his new Director of Legislative Affairs. Shawanza Goff will be the first black woman to serve as the White House's chief emissary to Capitol Hill. Goff previously served as House Liaison and Deputy Director of Legislative Affairs for the White House. Her first priorities would include Congress, currently on a tight deadline to reauthorize the FAA, pushing a slew of defense policies and managing relations between Biden and Republicans without compromising the administration's agenda. Well, nearly $6 million from the American Rescue Plan will be used for Delaware housing initiatives. That was announced by Governor John Carney. Some of the projects receiving that money do include the Springboard Collaborative, who will get $2.4 million to build shelter villages in southern and central Delaware, and $350,000 for the Home of the Brave in Milford, who provides various services to homeless veterans. We still have more coming up in our final half hour of Coast TV News Today. Still ahead, pack your beach bag because replenishment is complete in another beach town along our coast. And backs against the wall for both Georgetown and Delmar Little League, who both squads will face up against in order to avoid elimination. Stay with us.
Coastal Delmarva has so much going on.
Food, friends, fun, and more.
Why don't we just show you?
Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on WRDE Coast TV.
Performing in outer space?
Yes, next July.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I can't change these plans.
Honey, where are you?
Whether it's a natural disaster or just everyday life's mishaps, Royal Plus brings calm to the chaos. In disaster's wake, there's one call to make. Royal Plus.
Never miss a game for your favorite local team. Take the DSN app with you wherever you go. Whether you're out to eat, camping with friends, or at home relaxing with your family, the DSN app notifies you when your team is on live so you can watch the game as it happens or watch videos on demand. Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV. Download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
Do the summertime.
6:41, a beautiful start to our Tuesday. Dry Tech Cam, Ocean City, 75, blue skies. However, it looks like the second half of the day will be stormy. 60s and 70s out the door this morning. Georgetown 66, Rehoboth 72, Milton 68. We have mostly clear skies now, but I am watching this disturbance through West Virginia and Pennsylvania. That will interact with the heating of the day, and that will give us a potential for severe weather later on. But first, it's the Face of Grace UV index. They practice in sun safety, and it's very high, the UV index, especially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where those temperatures get very, very hot. Make sure you have the higher SPF sunscreen, midday shade, limit time outdoors, and avoid the sun from about 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. I'll have more on the heat and storms coming up in just a bit.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Bethany Beach is booming with beach goers. The busy beach town even busier, as the only bit of beach replenishment left is dune repair. Some businesses that we spoke with say the process to widen the beach actually brought more people onto the boardwalk, making it better for business. The town says all dune crossovers are now open.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Well, win or go home for last year's local darlings of the Little League Softball World Series. Both Delmar, Maryland and Georgetown needs a win today to keep their stay in Bristol going. First, the Sussex County girls take on DC at 1 p.m. Clint Lutz's squad's coming off a heartbreaking walk-off loss to Massapequa, New York. It's been a roller coaster for that group, who picked up their second one-run win of the tournament. Meanwhile, Georgetown can now set its focus on a team from the DMV that dropped its first game to Toms River, New Jersey, 17-zip, which, as we saw yesterday against Delmar, isn't all that shameful. This same group topped the young Wildcats by a score of 10-0, another Mercy Rule victory. Last year's Little League World Series runners-up now get to set their sights on Pennsylvania, the other group that was edged out by New York by a run. That game is slated to get underway at 7 p.m. and live updates for both contests can be found on Twitter at Delmarva Sports. But maybe all the winning mojo is being sapped from the Orioles. Baltimore topped the Phils last night 3-2. The O's are now 62-38 in the year and have opened a 2.5-game lead on the Rays for first in the division. The middle game of that series is tonight at 6:40. That'll do it for sports this morning. Have a good one.
Well, it turns out those huge opening weekend numbers for Barbie and Oppenheimer, they were off a little bit, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
Barbenheimer is even bigger than we thought. Sunday estimates put Barbie's opening weekend at a year's best $155 million. But final numbers put the film's debut at $162 million. And Oppenheimer went from an estimate of $80.5 million to a final tally of $82.5 million.
It's showtime.
Beetlejuice the Musical is taking its live show about death on the road. It's currently playing in Hollywood, where fans are not only lining up for official merchandise, they're creating their own costumes.
The cosplay is next level. I mean, it's such a big deal for young people. They come dressed up to the theater, they wait at the stage door afterwards. It's amazing. Some of their costumes are just as good as the costumes we wear in the show, and obviously it's mostly Beetlejuice and Lydia, but believe it or not, we occasionally see like a 10-year-old Charles Dietz. Like it's pretty cool.
Beetlejuice the Musical is hitting nearly 40 U.S. cities in the next year. Details at BeetlejuiceBroadway.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's a quiet start to our Tuesday. Our Hershey exteriors cam showing some clouds out there, but we are watching for later today. It's a first alert weather day for the potential of severe weather. Later on, I'll track it on Futurecast and talk about the timing and impacts after the break on Coast TV News.
This is the 2023 Nissan Rogue. With a surprisingly fuel-efficient VC turbo engine, you can go from 0 to fun in no time and leave basic far behind.
Now get a low $309 per month lease on Rogue.
Coast Country Cares and Spicer Brothers are proud to partner with the Benedictine School for the Chrome City fundraiser to benefit individuals with disabilities. Fire up your street rod, custom car, or motorcycle and take a ride to Benedictine's campus in Ridgely on Sunday, July 30th. Tickets are just $35 and include lunch and an official ride shirt. Entertainment provided and trophies awarded. For registration and rally locations, go to benschool.org. Coast Country Cares, brought to you by Spicer Brothers.
Comes alive. I am tangled up inside. Is it something that you hide?
Delmarva's rock station for 35 years. 93.5 The Beach.
Experience the thrill of the race with Post Time with Heather Vitale, only on the Delmarva Sports Network. From the energetic sprints at Ocean Downs to the hard racing action at Bally's Dover, all the way to the vibrant atmosphere of Harrington Raceway, we bring you the true pulse of harness racing. Sunday mornings at 8 and 11:30 on DSN, DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, or on the DSN app. Post Time on Delmarva Sports Network.
This is the 2023 Nissan Rogue. With a surprisingly fuel-efficient VC turbo engine, you can go from 0 to fun in no time and leave basic far behind.
Now get a low $309 per month lease on Rogue.
It is 6:47 on this Tuesday morning. A live look there on our Spicer Bros cam. All right, a little cloudy. Even looks a little hazy there, Bob, doesn't it? But no haze, right?
Yeah, a little haze.
Okay.
We've got some moisture in the air, of course, the humidity as well, Paige, and that could act as fuel later. You take that with the heat and some stuff stirring in the atmosphere, and that could give us a severe weather as we go later on into this afternoon. So we're talking about severe weather later today and then intense heat later in the week. Make sure you scan the QR code right there, and that will get you to the Coast TV weather app. You can track the temperatures and the storms we're expecting later today. Look at our 5-day temperature trend. 88 today, that's normal, but then we bounce it up to 91 Wednesday, and then it gets really hot. The hottest stretch of the summer, 95 Thursday, 97 Friday, and Saturday 96, and then you add the humidity. It's going to feel like at least 105 at times. But right now, out the door, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Seaford at 68, Georgetown 66, Rehoboth at 72 degrees right now. The winds are calm, and they'll be light pretty much all day. Clouds and radar. We actually have a few clouds moving through. They're tough to see on this particular shot, but we have them. They're a little thicker farther to the west. And then we're watching, you see a cluster of storms through Pennsylvania, and then we've got this trough that extends back into Virginia. This will be sliding to the east, and this will coincide with the heating of the day and give us that chance for severe weather. That's why we have this yellow bullseye over D.C. and over Delmarva, as we do have a slight risk, a level 2 chance of seeing severe weather. We'll say mid-afternoon into mid-evening. A low chance of tornadoes. It's never zero with that severe weather potential. As far as hail goes, maybe small hail, stronger winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible, but the main threat is flooding. We could see heavy rain, and that could cause problems, especially in poor drainage areas. So as we go through through this morning, we're warming up quickly through the 80s, upper 80s by noon, Georgetown, Ellendale, Selbyville, 70s and 80s along the beaches. And then by 3 o'clock, the storms start to pop up, and they will get intense, I think, as we go into the evening. They could pack a punch with heavy rain and gusty winds, and they'll last all evening long. Here's 10:30. Some of those showers and storms still hanging on, should be gone by about midnight. And then Wednesday will start to, well, dry it out, but it's going to start getting hot by the afternoon. Look at this, 92 in Millsboro at 4:30 with 70s and 80s along the beaches. And that's just the beginning. Now, as far as the rain goes, maybe over 1.5 inches in Selbyville, Fenwick Island. So over an inch in a lot of places that get under some of those bigger storms, maybe up to 1/2 inch for everybody else. The muggy meter, we are humid to very humid the next few days right into this upcoming weekend. So we're going to take those intense temperatures, add that humidity, and it's feeling like low to mid-90s inland. A little cooler along the beaches Wednesday, feeling like mid-90s, and then we shoot up into the triple digits, maybe 100 to 105 on Thursday, and even worse heading into Friday, almost bordering on dangerous heat at that time. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 88 with the storms today. Then here come the 90s, 91 Wednesday, 95 Thursday, 97 Friday with sunshine, the hottest day of the year, even 96 Saturday. Then the heat wave breaks on Sunday with some storms, 87, sunshine Monday, 84.
Friday is a little too hot even for me, Bob. Thank you. The previously announced lane shifts on Fairfield Road in Millsboro Wednesday, they've been moved up a day, so now it's taking place later today. They say the lane shifts are for paving work that will go on from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. DelDOT is asking drivers to use caution and expect some minor delays while you're in that area. It's 6:51 this morning. It's time to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day, brought to you by Maggie's Pet Boutique. We're showing you some adoptable pets from Grassroots Rescue this week. Today's pet from Grassroots Rescue in Milton is this 7-month-old adorable dog on your screen. This is Sandy. She is named for her color. Makes perfect sense. Sandy is spayed, and she's negative for heartworm. Oh yeah, she's great with other animals, especially her friend Dixie. So they need some foster homes. Maybe you can take in both Sandy and Dixie. We want to see your pets on Delmarva. You can always send us some photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can email us content@WRDE.com. Watch weekdays. We'll be here 5 to 7 a.m. And on Sundays, don't forget, you can check our Facebook page. You'll see those pets that we'll be featuring for the upcoming week.
Gorgeous start to the day on our tunnel and razor cam, but it's a first alert weather day for the potential severe weather later today. Plus, it's the hottest weather of the summer coming later this week. I'll have the 10-day forecast talking about the storms and the heat after the break.
Broken down AC system? Horizon has you covered with same-day repairs and next-day installs guaranteed. Don't wait. Schedule your next service online in seconds. Call, scan, or visit us at horizonservices.com.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. High performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
Middays with me, April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through your workday.
She can play your favorite song.
She can help you find your furry friend.
The easiest way to get through your workday is with April.
She really makes you feel special.
Hey friends, hang out with me weekdays here on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 each day from 10 to 3.
Jay Leno.
These French guys are smooth, aren't they?
Very.
I do declare, Mr. Henry.
And Kevin Eubanks.
But I'll tell you what, Kevin's going to give you $100, right, Kev?
Bring their own twist.
Get out of here, really?
No, you get out of here. To a TV classic. Let's play You Bet Your Life.
If I come home broke, my wife gonna kill me.
It's all fun and games.
Weekdays at 11:30 on WRDE Coast TV.
No hot water? No problem. Just call Horizon Services. We're there same day with a brand new water heater and a professional fix for any other plumbing emergency. For all of your plumbing needs, call today or visit us at horizonservices.com.
It's 6:54. Time for some things you need to know before you go. Tonight, the town of Millville is confronting the future of recreational marijuana use and sales months after the state of Delaware legalized the drug. Millville's considering ordinances to zone for cultivation, distribution, and sales. Coast TV News spoke with Mayor Ronald Belinko, and he says he's not opposed to recreational marijuana. He also says there's just no real financial benefit to the town, as the bill's provisions don't allow for it to make revenue. We have a link to tune in to that meeting live on our website. The town of Georgetown did not show much enthusiasm for the total ban of sale of marijuana there. Instead, the town discussed how these businesses would be regulated. The town manager saying the town would be doing a disservice if they tried to ban the sale of marijuana completely. He and Mayor Bill West both saying an ordinance for recreational marijuana would likely be similar to the town's medical marijuana ordinance. A third candidate has announced the bid for Delaware's lone seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Director of the Delaware State Housing Authority from Wilmington, Eugene Young, announced his campaign. Some key issues in his campaign will include addressing the housing crisis, affordable health care, reproductive rights, and climate change. Bethany Beach is booming with beach goers, the busy beach town, even busier as the only bit of beach replenishment left is dune repair. Some businesses we spoke with say despite the headaches, the process to widen the beach actually brought more folks onto the boardwalk, making it better for business. The town does say all dune crossovers are now open. There's a National Wine Day and a National Cheese Day, but today, the best of both worlds. It's National Wine and Cheese Day. Yeah, that means it's time to celebrate how these two pair with one another. Some regions that produce wine tend to pair those wines with local cheeses, but sommeliers and cheesemongers can make recommendations based on complementary flavors and some new trends. You can't go wrong, really, when you pair the two. So you can experiment and see what appeals to you. It is 6:57 now. It's time for a quick look at your forecast before you head out the door. But Bob, wine and cheese, what do you think?
I never heard of a cheesemonger until right now, Paige, and you mentioned it, so you learn something new every day. Yeah, wine and cheese, they just go right together. Here's our day-part forecast, looking good till about 2 o'clock. We do have a first alert weather day for storms later on today into this evening. They could pack a punch with heavy rain, maybe flooding rain and gusty winds. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 88 today. Then the heat is on. We're up to close to 97.
Bob, I'm going to have to stop you. Sorry. We're going to have to wrap up, I think. So thank you for joining us on Coast TV, and we'll be back with the Today Show at 7 and then Coast TV midday at 11. Sorry about that, Bob. We're going to head on now, though, for more coverage you can count on. Have a great Tuesday morning, everyone.